Morning everyone, it's Carol here from thestampingground.co.uk, and today I'm showing you how to make these lovely tags with the Counting Sheep stamp set and dies from our Celebration catalogue. You can look through all the catalogues on my website at thestampingground.co.uk. And here's the Counting Sheep stamp set. You get 3 sheep and lots of little bits, some grass, hat, and a couple of inscriptions which I've used on the tags. And here are the dies. I've used them all, I think, apart from the flag. I've left the gate off, I'm very sorry, but there is a gate as well. And they're a lovely popular set. So I shall now show you how to make the tags. So I've taken a piece of Floaty Flamingo cardstock and we're going to cut it into 2-inch sections. And each 2-inch piece needs to be 5-inch long, and we need 4 of these. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to use the punch. It's called Delightful Tag Topper. It will actually cut 3 different sized tags out: a 2-inch, 1 3/4 inch, and a 1-inch. So you can get lots of use out of this punch. I just realised that my camera had stopped recording, so I'm just going to show you on this black piece what I did. So just pop the 5-inch piece into the cavity and just punch. And here are the ones I did earlier. So we have 4 of those. And I'm going to use the bright 6x6 Designer Series paper out of the catalogue. And I've just cut these into 2-inch pieces. We're not going to need all of it. And it matches, is the Floaty Flamingo as well. So we're going to take our first tag. And I'm going to leave about 1 1/4 at the top. And then just cut the excess off. And then just add some liquid glue. And if you make sure it lines up well at the bottom, you can actually pop it on its side, and then it will line up perfectly that way. To cut the gate out, I've taken a piece of Designer Series paper from the pack called Beauty of the Earth. It was just perfect. If you don't have this pack, then you could use brown cardstock or similar. Now we're going to cut 5 of these out. The reason I've cut 5 of these out is I'm going to layer the gates together because they're actually set off the actual tag. It gives them is more substantial. So if you just pop just little dots of glue on the back and layer each one up. And there we are. We're now going to stamp our sheep. I've used black Memento ink. Just make sure you've got a lot of ink on. And we're going to use those 2, and we need 2 of the one that is standing. So we need 4 in total. So it's 2 of this one. And then 1 each of the other 2. It's a lovely set, this, and I know everybody who has managed to get this one absolutely love it. You can do so many things with it. Now we just need to, you can either colour and then die cut, or die cut first. I'm going to die cut first, so I'll be back in just 1 minute. And here we have our 4 little sheep. They look so cute. I'm going to use the Stampin' Blends to colour them. And the colours I've used, I'll just put them on this paper so it won't all go through to my pad. There's 2 where you can see that their eyes are open, so I've used the Petal Pink, and I'm using the Dark and Light Crumb Cake. So the Light Crumb Cake, I'm going to colour their face and legs and ears. And then I'll add the shade in with the dark one when I finish. And I'm using the brush end here. If you feel it's too thick for you, for obviously the legs or anything, then you can use this thin end. Gives you a little bit more control. And then just his ears. I'll just show you the shading first, and then I'll whiz through the other 3. So I'm just adding the dark shading at the back end of his face where it meets his woolly coat, at the top of his legs, and then I'm just going to go back in with the light and just blend it all together, and then when it dries you'll see that it's all blended. On his toes, I've used the dark crumb cake, and it does stand out from his legs because his legs are done in the light one. And there, so we need to do all the other. I'll just show you. This one has his eye open, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of Petal Pink into his eyes, and this one as well. So there, all finished and coloured, and they look right little characters now. So we'll just pop those to one side, and we'll bring back in our first tag. So we're going to add the gate here, and as you can see, it's overhanging. So if it had been a single one, it would have been a little bit flimsy. So we just need to add a small amount of glue. Don't go right to the edges as it's overhanging. So we just need it in the centre really. And just pop it on an angle. Roughly, I'm going to say roughly in the middle. Might be just a little bit further down. And then position your sheep where he wants to go. And then we're going to add some dimensionals. Now at the moment I've only got the mini dimensionals as I'm waiting for the big ones to come. So if you've got the larger dimensionals, then pop those on. So decide whereabouts or how you want your sheep jumping over the gate. There. No. I think I've just put the gate on not quite the right angle, but there we are. That's fine. Take a scrap piece of white cardstock 2-inch wide, the same width as your gift tag, and we're going to use the crumb cake ink and stamp our inscription out. And this inscription says, "So glad it's your birthday." There. Perfect. So now we're just going to cut it. It's approximately 1 inch wide, but there's no need to measure, just cut a border underneath the birthday. And then we're going to add it to our gift tag. Just pop some liquid glue on. I've just gone over the designer series paper. There's no exact measurements as to where to put your inscription. You just have a look and pop it where you're happy with it. I'm just going to add a few pearls to this one, and I'm going to use the dark crumb cake blend pen, and I'm just going to colour 3 of the small pearls. Just going over just to give it a little bit more depth. And it dries very, very quickly, but I'm just going to pop those at one side and put our ribbon on. I'm using the soft succulent ribbon. I think this matches nice. And just thread it through. And then I like to cut it so that it's short enough so the ribbon actually stays upright. I'm just going to pop the pearls on when I've taken this sticky bit off my pick. I always have problems. I'm going to use the putty end when I've got there we are. I'm just going to add 3 randomly. When I can pick them up. No. So that's one of our tags finished. Oops. Now on to our second one. So take our designer series paper, and I'm going to cover is about approximately 1 3/4 or thereabouts, and then just snip off at the bottom, and then we're going to glue that on. But before we do, I'm going to add a little piece of ribbon, again the soft succulent, and normally I would use Stamp and Seal, but I've just this minute run out, so I'm just going to use the tear and tape, which is perfect as well. So just take the top off and just add your ribbon, fold it round the front, and then secure it again at the back. And then we just need to add liquid glue and attach it to our gift tag. Perfect. So this is the sheet we're going to use for this gift tag. I'm now going to use the balloon die on this one. So out of the pack of the same Brights Designer Series paper, I'm going to use this this lovely bright pink one, which is called Poppy Parade. So we need 2 of the pink balloons and 1 out of the Flirty Flamingo. So I'll just go and cut these out and I will be back shortly. And just like magic, here we are. So if we take our 3 balloons, and I'm just going to add a little dot of glue on the 2 pink ones underneath. You only need a spot. And then I'm just going to press these edges together, and we're just going to attach this with a mini glue dot. So we're just going to add this mini glue dot under where the sheep's leg is, and then just press the balloons on. Now onto the back of the sheep, we're going to add some dimensionals. So just place him onto the gift tag so that it looks like he's holding the balloons. So now we're going to add an inscription to this gift tag. So again, a 2-inch wide piece of white cardstock, and the inscription I'm putting on here says "You're amazing." So again, we're going to use the crumb cake ink. So just cut roughly the same as you did on the last gift tag. I think that's a little bit too big, so I'm going to cut it down a little bit more. And that will fit perfect there. So I'm just going to pop a few dimensionals on the back of this and just place it near the top. And then all we need to do now is add our ribbon as we did on the last gift tag. And just snip again. And there's our second one. So for our third gift tag, we're using this sheep that's standing up, and we're going to again add a piece of the Designer Series paper, roughly, I'm going to say about 2 inch or thereabouts. And then just snip off at the bottom. Add some liquid glue and place on top of our gift tag. Just making sure everything lines up correctly. So onto the bottom of this gift tag, I'm using soft succulent ink and the little grass stamp. And I'm going to say about 1/2 inch. We're going to go along and just stamp the grass. And like I say, it's about 1/2 inch roughly up the gift tag. There we are. So we're going to glue our gate together with just 2 pieces on this one. No reason other than 2 or 3 is sufficient really, so you can decide whether you put 3 together or 2. And then attach them to each other. And just sit one on top of the other. That's perfect. And we're going to put this gate straight across, and then we're going to add the standing up sheep behind the gate. And before I forget, we need to add a piece of white cardstock. Now this is, I have a lot of this size. It's what I cut off when I'm cutting my card bases out. So it's just under 1/4 of an inch wide. 1/4 of an inch will do. It really doesn't matter. You just want a thin piece. And then we can now add our sheep back. So lift the sheep up and just pop some liquid glue on the back of him. And then the same with the gate. Now we're going to add the little party hats to this gift tag, and I've just used 3 random colours. I've picked Highland Heather, Just Jade and Magenta Madness, but you can choose whatever colours you have. So take a piece of scrap white cardstock and your little hat. And we just want 3 colours. There we are. And now we just need, there's a die for this, so we just need to die cut these hats out. So we're just going to add them round the top of the gift tag, and I'm just going to pop a mini dimensional under each of them. It looks like he's throwing the hats up in the air. There we are. So we now need to add our inscription and ribbon, and that will be our 3rd one finished. Now I've used the inscription, "So glad it's your birthday," but we're actually going to cut a little bit of it away and just put "It's your birthday." So just cut close to the wording and then carefully cut between the wording as well. And we just want "It's yours." It's your, sorry. And I'm just going to put that straight onto the gift tag because I don't even want to think about putting dimensionals on that one. On the birthday, we're going to add dimensionals at the bottom. So once you've got your dimensionals on, just pop it at the bottom, and I've already glued the one at the top. So we now just need to add a small piece of ribbon. And there we are, that's our 3rd gift tag done. Our final gift tag, I've cut the paper at roughly 2 3/4 and just pop some glue on and add it to your tag. Now we're just going to we're just going to cut out 2 of these for the clouds, and we're also going to use the sun dye. I'm using the light Daffodil Delight and a piece of scrap cardstock, and I'm just going to colour a piece large enough just to take the sun dye, and we now need to cut that out as well. So we want the clouds overhanging like this on either side, and then just add a little bit of glue to each one. And then turn over and just cut off any excess cardstock. Now for the sun, I'm actually layering the dimensionals. There are one on top of each other. I just want the sun to be more prominent on this one. So we're just going to set the sheep here, and I'm going to add again dimensionals to this one. So once you've added your sheep, again we need to stamp an inscription, and we're going to use "So Glad It's Your Birthday," and although we're splitting it, we're going to use all the wording. So if you cut it out and cut it close to the top wording, so you can see how I've cut the wording out, and we're just going to add glue to back of both and just stick them straight onto the to the tag. So when I finished this gift tag, I decided that it was quite a serious looking sheep, so I cut another party hat out and popped it on his head. And then all there was left to do was pop some ribbon in, and that was the last tag. So I will bring back the other 3. And I hope you've enjoyed watching. Everything I've used, measurements in imperial and metric, will be all over on my blog, which you will find in the description bar below. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Oops, his hat's coming off. And I'll be back very soon with another project. And until then, thank you for joining me, and bye-bye.